still on Africa Green Revolution Forum. Earlier today, I spoke to Agnes Kalibata, who is the president of the Alliance for Green Revolution in Africa, AGRA, about the upcoming AGRF, and started by asking her about the significance of this meeting.
AGRF remains the biggest opportunity for this continent, the African continent, to come together, bringing public sector, private sector, civil society and farmers to talk about the challenges we see in the agriculture sector, but also the opportunities. So Rwanda remains the home in what we call a home and away model, where 1 year we go to another country, the following year we come back to Rwanda. And people love being in Rwanda. It's a beautiful host country. So this particular year, the significance is that we will be tapping into the conversation of the Food System Summit that just ended a while ago to look at how different aspects of different sectors that impact the food system will work together to deliver against the food system in the context of climate change, in the context of COVID-19 and all the challenges we are living with.
Okay, you're talking about a food system, and I think one thing that comes into people's mind is Africa's reliance on food imports, and of course, ending hunger and all that. What is AGRA doing to ensure that all these challenges are eliminated? Yeah. Maybe it could not be soon, but at least later on.
Yeah. So what we do as AGRA, we focus on looking at market failures. Why is it that Africa doesn't have, a number of countries in Africa don't have functional seed systems? And functional seed systems mean that having businesses like an SME that can sell seed to a farmer in a village who is looking for that seed. Why is it that markets, food markets, a farmer who has more food than he needs, where does he find a market to sell it? Why is it that we don't have policies that are coherent and speak to the whole agricultural system, from having access to seed for a farmer, having access to extension, but also having access to a market? So we do that. And in the last strategy alone, we planned to reach 9 million farmers through SMEs, not ourselves. We don't do the work. We empower other people to do the work, because sustainability of a system comes from ensuring and empowering communities themselves, businesses in those communities, people in those communities to be able to do the work. So we feel that if we continue to do that, if we continue to double down on strengthening the capacities of SMEs, if we continue to double down on strengthening the capacities of policy reforms in our own countries, we will get there. Okay. It's a journey. It needs a whole lot of partners. It's a journey. It needs all of us to work together. It's a journey that we are working again against climate change, but ensuring access for a farmer is the bottom line. Access to good seed, access to fertilizers and other inputs they need, and most of all, access to markets. You do that, you definitely will have food security, and you will have the ability to fight poverty.
Talking about food security that you mentioned while closing that very answer, in case, God forbid, the Ukraine-Russia conflict escalates and extends to other countries, I'm avoiding mentioning the Third World War, but do you foresee a food crisis, and do you think Africa is ready to withstand that kind of pressure and shocks?
That's an interesting question, because I can't tell you how many messages, if you look on the internet, how many messages of doom, I would say messages of doom, around oil prices, around wheat prices, around maize, what they call corn in other countries, around soybean. The fact is, between Ukraine and Russia, you're probably looking at 50% of the berry production, 50% of wheat production, 20% of maize production between those two countries. So people are assuming that because these two countries are now dysfunctional in terms of being good markets for exports, the demand is going to be the same demand as was against a declined or decreasing market output. So yes, it's expected that food prices will go up. Right now, people are saying that it's actually already at the rate where it was in 2008, which was pretty high, which led to a whole lot of crisis on the continent here in Africa alone. But hopefully this will not go on for too long. But we've also learned from COVID-19, because of the market disruptions in COVID-19, a lot of countries have also come up with ways of dealing with those type of global problems. Countries have already found ways of sheltering themselves against some of those challenges. I'm not saying that it's a perfect system right now where those challenges will not affect us, but I think the biggest lesson here is we need to start shortening value chains. We need to start looking at how, and because we have the ability to produce what we need to start strengthening the ability to produce, process, and eat what we produce.
AGRA President Agnes Kalibata, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.